Welcome back to this edition of the Need to Ride. Today we're going to do a little work on the K1200S that I have here. As you know, I did a little show on this, or a little excerpt on this a few weeks ago, talking about what a great motorcycle this is, and the engineering that went behind this motorcycle. I still will stand by that post. This is a great motorcycle. Today I want to fix a couple of things. I bought some body parts on eBay. I'm going to open that up for the first time. I have the box here. I'll see how they look. They look good on the eBay website. But what I wanted to do was fix a couple of things on this bike that slowly but surely I want to get it back to a more pristine look. So some of the body plastics on this aren't that good, and one of them is right here. Scratch. You can see right here it's all scratched, and I don't know if you can tell, but I did a little touch-up job there. Now what I'm really looking for is the side panels, because right here's got a big scratch that's covered up with this sticker, but there's also a crack here. If you can see it, it's hard to see, but this is all cracked. I did buy some aftermarket ones that were from China. So they didn't work out too well, the aftermarket ones from China. I got to tell you, wasn't the right color, and the workmanship was really, really poor. So if any of you guys who got these bikes and you have some cracked plastics, if you see them on eBay, I'm going to tell you not to buy them unless you don't care about workmanship and things matching and lettering over stripes and things like that. I should have kept them, but I returned them. They were easy to deal with as far as returning things and buying things, but the quality of work just wasn't there. So I want to replace this side as well. As you can see, there's a couple of marks on it. This side's not too bad. I could keep this side if I really want to, but I'd rather not if I could get a better deal. I did replace the inserts here. These are carbon fiber. I replaced them from the junky looking ones that were on there. I didn't like them at all. But today we're going to replace these pieces, both sides, and this piece at the very least. I do have this piece as well. So let's open up the box. Let's see what it looks like. Doing this one-handed, so it's a little rough. You're gonna have to trust me, I'm opening this. So let's open this up. See what this looks like. So it looks like it's packaged really well from the guy on eBay. I usually do pretty good on eBay. I have to say, I do look at the listings to make sure they're accurate. Here's the first piece, and you can see it was packaged really well from this guy. Does it match? Look at that. That's a pretty good match, huh? It's pretty good, I have to say. But the rest of it, nice stuff. Take these off, re-glue them. But that's neither here. That's small potatoes to what everything else. So all I got to do, I think, is just take these pieces off the outside fairing. So without further ado, let's start working on that. It's a 25 Torx. I'm going to be using this as my weapon of choice. And I got this little knurl to make it easier. I could use the small impact gun on it, but I don't like to use, I think I've said this before, I don't like to use the impact gun on this type of hardware. It's got the clips. It's not like a real insert. It's a very, oh my God. You know, these haven't been off in a while. We're going to start with these. I usually have a little plastic cup out here when I do this, but I'm unprepared today. I'm not going to do that. Let's take that out of there. Now I'm kind of winging this. I have never taken these off before. So first of all, I don't know how they all come out. I don't know how many screws there are. I did not do my due diligence and look this up. But my fellow YouTubers. So right now I got 3. Yeah, if anybody knows where I could find another set of these, that would be awesome. Because I want to get rid of some of the scratches. Like, I want to get rid of this scratch and some defects in these things that I don't like. So how many screws does it take to keep this on? Oops, I wasn't watching. I'm trying to do this one-handed, and it's a little rough. But if you notice, I have this small ratchet that I use. When I got this ratchet, I actually got this, I don't know if this is my father's, this might be my dad's. I don't think I bought one. I saw it in his box, and I was like, when he retired, I said, why does he have such a small ratchet? What's he gonna use that for, right? And I thought it'd be a waste. But it turns out, I use it a lot. I absolutely use this a lot. All right, I don't know if this thing's ready to come off or not. It feels like it. And there it is. Look how simple that is. Let's put this someplace out of the way. So that's a little dirty in there. You know me, I don't like dirt. I'll have to clean that up. But you can see, here's the engine. It's the bottom pan. You get antifreeze. That's the infamous clutch I know I have to do work on soon. Wow, this is not that big a deal. I think it's going to take me longer to do this because I'm recording it than anything else. So the seat's got to come off. So we know that. So let's get to the other side. There's the key right there. And then you basically hit it like that. And then one piece comes off. And I think this seat's a pain in the butt. If you want my opinion. Because now I gotta take those two screws out to relieve this thing. And there's a plate that's underneath here that's threaded. There's a threaded plate. And I'm going to tell you, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to get it back in. I've done this before, taking the seat off. And believe it or not, because I was looking for the battery, I didn't realize the battery on this is underneath this plate, which is very convenient. But all right, let's get to that. Getting it on, I don't know if I'll show you that later, but getting it on is a pain in the tutkus. And there's one bolt is, you can get to it. It's not blocked by the hardware that holds this thing on. If you look at the second one, it's blocked. You see that? So that's what makes it difficult to get back on, because now you got to sneak this, you got to get this one started, then you put the plate, you get it matched up, and then you put this in, and then you got to sit there and finesse it to get the other side caught. It's a total pain. It's not a good design. I would think the Germans are smarter than that. Again, I know I've talked about this before. I was in the aerospace business, and we used to deal with the Germans over in Berlin and stuff like that. God, very precise people, I have to say. So are the Japanese. But the Germans, they're in a different, I don't know what to call it, a different level, but they're in a different mindset. They don't believe in tolerancing. They have tolerancing on their drawings, but that's not for you. It's an interesting conversation when you have it with them. It's like, you're not supposed to use that. It's a suggestion. They want it dead nuts. It's 1 inch. It's exactly an inch. It's not 1 1/8 inch. It's not 1 1/4 inch. It's not 1 1/16 inch. No, it's 1 inch. Even if the print tells you otherwise, they tell you that. So, and as you can, I don't know if you can see on the camera as I'm doing this, but you can see how it's a pain in the neck already. There it is. Just dropped. And you heard it fall. So that's the pain in the ass of it all. And that's the piece. Anyway, so there we are. We got that. As I said before on this channel, I'm a one-man band. I don't have any support group. No wife in the background holding cameras. This is all me. I'm all alone in this little journey I'm taking. Let's see how this works. I might have to loosen up that piece on the top. Ooh, careful. You don't want that falling in. So I'm looking here. Yeah, so. Get that out of the way. These I already have loose because I plugged the battery in on this. This bike's gonna need a new battery. I figured that out. I've had some close calls with the battery going bad on me. Thank God it happened when I was home. And I was talking to a guy the other day. I was looking at a vehicle, which is probably going to end up in this garage. So we're going to have to reconfigure the garage and take some of the bikes and put them in the storage unit. I'm going to try to keep two here. But I was talking to a guy about the battery on that. And he put the dry cell battery in it. And he did the dry cell because it rots out the car when these start to leak. So ooh, look at that, came right out. Came right out. All right. Beauteous. And there's a fuel tank. Ooh, that is dirty in there. So I will be cleaning this. I guess I should take this off as well. We'll see. All right, let's do the other side. I said that before, I think, right? Let's do the other side. And you can see this I replaced. I put a carbon fiber front fender on that instead of the gray. I think that looks way better. Well, you guys can leave notes in the comments. Tell me what you think. The stock gray or the carbon fiber. Be interested in hearing your thoughts. Although I may, disclaimer, I may not agree, but I still would like to hear what you guys think. Let me just loosen these up and then go back and just use the knurl. This is the one that's cracked. And I'm sure when I take this off, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. find it actually to be, as far as taking the covers off, the bodywork, I find this to be easier than the RS. The RS is a little more complicated. I really like this motorcycle. In fact, I have ideas of getting rid of this one and buying a 1300, just so I have the latest and greatest. And it's a little more horsepower. Not that I need it, because I don't need the horsepower at all. This is 167, I think it is, 165. The other one's like 175, 178, somewhere up there. That bike's capable of close to 200 miles an hour. This one, not quite as fast, but you know what? I don't think you're going to notice a difference in your daily riding. But this is not as fast as the 1300. Well, I think the 1300 is a better clutch. I think that they fixed the clutch issue on that one. I think that's better. And I'd like to find a lower mileage one than this bike. This has like 37,000 miles on it. Not that that's a ton for these bikes, but I like them with lower mileage. All right, let's see. Oh, did I miss one? Yeah, I missed one. You missed one, you big dope. There's the one on the front. I'm talking, and I forgot. I think there's one up here. No? No. There's a... Hold on, let me put my camera down. Camera's making me unsuccessful here. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, there is a screw back here. Believe it or not, there is a screw. I don't know if I can get it for you. No, I don't think you can see. Can you see it? It's right here. The screw. The screw is right here. So you can't force this stuff. These body panels on these bikes come off really easy. And if you're trying to get something off and it's not coming, it's because you have something attaching it. And you have to figure out what the attachment is. Is it a screw? Or is it, a piece of rubber? This one happens to be a screw. I thought it was a piece of rubber at first, but you gotta look around. So, little tip, right? This, there you go. It's an insert, that's for sure. So, you can see the piece is still here. See this? So this bottom attachment isn't really working. You can see there's a piece missing here because it's right here. It's right there. And it's all cracked. So what I have to do is, I can repair it. I have that ability. So if I can't get another one of these, I'm going to repair this one. If I can't get that, I'll repair this one. you can see, took a piece out of it. Right there. All right. There you go. I don't know if you can see that, but that's all scratched. And it bugs the heck out of me when I'm looking down on it. I put this crazy sticker on it trying to cover it up a bit because it was big, and this kind of took my eye away from it a little bit, but that's not the long-term fix. We have the long-term fix now. So it's time to clean up the inside of this thing a little bit. And this might be controversial to some people, I don't know. But when I clean the plastic, like especially inside, I use WD-40. All right, make fun of me now. I hear you. But I don't know if everybody realizes this, but WD-40 is a good cleaner, actually. I'm gonna have to take that top off because that's not gonna work. I won't get it all clean, but just so you guys can see what I'm doing. This is how I cleaned up the GS too. And if you see what it does, it actually puts a little moisture back in the plastics. It's temporary. It doesn't last forever. You get that. But for me, it's a good, safe way to clean inside your bike. And we'll see. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it gets rid of all that gook and muck. And when you get back, it's nice dark plastic. So this is what it looks like now. I'll show you. It wasn't a lot of work. I'm not getting crazy. I'm not getting like Joe detail on this, but I did want to make it look, decent when I open up the bike, and it's not full of dirt and mud and grime. So a lot better than it was, I think, if you look at the before and after. Look at the other side. Did take the top off so I could clean all that, but it does look a lot better than it did. So all now I got to do is put the plastics back on. I'll show you what I'm not gonna video all of that, bore you to death on putting it back together, but I think the big takeaway from this one is there's a screw here on the inside. Yeah, there's a screw here too. So we'll put it back together, and then we'll go from there. But way better as far as cleanliness. Caution people on one thing. I'm not going to show you how I put the whole thing together, but there is a couple things that I got to consider. There's this piece right here that's got to line up with, where is it? It's got to line up with that piece on the fairing. And then you have this under here. There's a little piece that this thing's got to slide into. This ultimately has got to slide into that. I'll show you what that looks like when I get this piece on and it's fully it's somewhat assembled. I'll give you another look at it. So if can you see that? Yeah, it's hard to see, but it's right down in here that I hooked that in, and then there's this piece that I hooked in. You can see it's behind here, so now it stays on. I feel for that, and then I line this up. And again, it goes together. I think it goes together pretty easily once you get things lined up correctly. Yeah. Boom. There you go. And there you go. I don't know if you saw that. I know I had my big fat head in the way, but I lined this dowel up in here, and I did the hook in that one. So this already looks a lot better. These pieces are nice and clean. I'm very happy with my eBay purchase. I'll give you the guy's name if you're looking for BMW parts. It looks like he does a lot of BMW stuff online, and it looks like he's got pretty good stuff. So this looks way better. Nice clean parts, no scratches. I'll just have to put some, I'll wax that up when I'm done, and clean this off. And I'll put my my black pads, side pads on it. But that's so much better than what I had. Let's get the rest of it together, and then I'll clean it up, and I'll show you what the finished product looks like. But this guy was good. I'm glad I got the parts from him, and makes the bike a lot better. Even just without all, not even back together yet, I already like the fact of what I'm looking at. All right, we'll get to it. This came out really good. This project. It looks so much better. I put a little wax on it last night, and I'm gonna do it with the other camera. I'll show you what it looks like, but it looks really, really nice. I put the side panels on, but as you can see, there's no marks on there at all. That is absolutely beautiful. So the bike looks 100% better. So this whole thing was all scratched up, if you remember. Had a piece up here that was scratched. That's all gone now. And now it looks pretty new. So, not bad. So last night I had to take this bike back apart because this piece was not on right. When I was doing the video, doing the edits, I noticed that the grommet and the fork were not centered. The fork has to be centered on the grommet. You'll see like a little ring on the grommet. It was behind it. So that's actually important. You want this piece to be riding only on the grommet, and you need that to be centered. So I redid that. But I'm really happy with how this came out. It looks absolutely beautiful, and hopefully you got some insight on how to take this thing apart for those who have a 1200 or a 1300S. So without too much fanfare, I'm going to say goodbye and thank you for joining this edition of The Need to Ride, and God bless and keep riding. Thank you.